While Nintendo didn't reveal anything new at the most recent Nintendo Direct on Metroid Prime 4, it does seem like they are gearing up for more Metroid Prime announcements in the future. So on the official Nintendo.com site, there is a sub-portal site to everything about Metroid. If you go on metroid.nintendo.com, you'll be able to look at a variety of different Metroid games that are on the Nintendo Switch that you can pick up right now and play. Now it says, protect the galaxy. Suit up as the indomitable bounty hunter Samus Aran for exciting adventures across the galaxy in these Metroid series games playable on the Nintendo Switch system. They show off Metroid Prime Remastered that recently launched as of the time that I'm recording this video. You can see a trailer for it and you can learn more about the game. They also show off Metroid Dread. It says escape from the depths of a mysterious alien world in this side-scrolling adventure. And honestly, this is probably my favorite Metroid game of all time is Metroid Dread. That game is incredible. And then of course, last but not least, we've got more games featuring Samus Aran on the Nintendo Switch system. You got the original Metroid available on the Nintendo Switch Online. You also have Metroid 2 Return to Samus. That is a very interesting Game Boy title and a follow-up to the original Metroid. And of course, Super Metroid, many consider to be one of the best, if not the best Metroid game of all time. And of course, Samus is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with Zero Suit Samus, regular Samus, and the Fiend enemy of Samus, Ridley, is in there as well. So a lot of Metroid going down. Now, the interesting thing with this site is that it's all recent when it comes down to it. Nintendo did not have this before. So what does that mean? They're trying to prime and gear up people to get more information on Metroid and to enhance the brand and value of the Metroid franchise and to get people just excited about Samus and knowing her stories and what games are available. It's been quite some time since Samus has been prominent in the gaming industry when it comes to new games. We just got Metroid Dread about a year and some odd months ago, and that was a revelation for many people. It fastly became the best-selling Metroid game of all time in 6 months, right there on the Nintendo Switch. So what does that tell you? There's a lot of new fans that are getting into Metroid for the first time, and there's probably going to be a ton of new fans playing Metroid Prime Remastered for the first time, or the Metroid Prime games, I should say, for the first time, because Switch has just ushered in a whole new wave of new consumers that maybe weren't alive at that time or haven't played it yet, or whatever it is. Now, another thing that I want to note here is that Metroid Prime Remastered quickly jumped up to #1 on the eShop chart. So people went out there and downloaded it like crazy. So that was absolutely incredible to see. I think the shadow drop for a game like this works incredibly well, especially since it's been rumored for 4 years plus now at this point, and it might have just been sitting there ready to go for who knows how long. I don't think this was a right up to the minute type of release, because if you look at the release, and I've been playing it and I think it's fantastic, check out my video where I actually played through the first parts of it and discussed it as well. It's a great remaster of a game, but there is absolutely nothing done in terms of in-game quality of life features to fix different things. Now you have the controls, dual analog, which is great. You have pointer controls. You have all sorts of stuff to enhance the controls in the game and to play, but there isn't any like improvements when it comes to the quality of life features with some of the missions or with the wireframe maps or some of the stuff that definitely could have been tuned up or modified. None of that was fixed at all. So I'm guessing that this game was just sitting there. They went there, redid some texture work, obviously improved audio quality, all that good stuff, and then it was just sitting there waiting for it to be released. But I do think they were waiting because of what? Metroid Prime 4. I talked about this before, how I felt that Metroid Prime 4 was holding up the release of Metroid Prime Remastered, or the older Metroid games coming. And I think now at this point, now that Nintendo knows that Metroid Prime 4 will be showed off in 2023, they went ahead and pulled the trigger on releasing Metroid Prime Remastered, and to get this portal going and get the hype going for Samus and of course for Metroid in the future. So I think that we are absolutely going to see Metroid Prime 4 in 2023, and I think that it could be the big holiday or fall game for 2023 on the Nintendo Switch. And who knows, it might even have a Nintendo Switch 2 version that's being made as well, or backwards compatibility, or a patch to make it run better, whatever the case is. However Nintendo decides to transition to the next phase, because Nintendo is absolutely doing that. They've been doing that since 2021, like they talked about in the investors meeting, but obviously we're getting closer and closer to the launch of Nintendo's next system, probably in 2024, but that's just my guess on that. And I do want to talk more about some awesome stuff coming later in 2023, and that is Level 5, the DECAPOLICE RPG. And I do want to talk about this just briefly before we get into DECAPOLICE, because I think that Level 5 has done something that's absolutely incredible, and it's heartwarming to me at least. Level 5 was really down after what happened with Yokai Watch and pretty much the failure of that game, which completely ruined things for many of Level 5's higher ups and the company itself. And of course, Inazuma 11 kept on getting delayed and everything. I think that people saw Level 5 as a company that's past their prime. I think people saw Level 5 as a company that's going to leave the US and never be back to where they were with Dark Cloud and with Yokai Watch and with all the great games that they've had, Professor Layton. And to see that they used the Nintendo Direct to officially announce that no, not are we alive, but we are alive, ready, and back is just the most incredible thing. And honestly, it was the smart move. I think that if you announce your games at any other event, it might not get the type of publicity that it would get at a Nintendo Direct, where a lot of people love Level 5 games on Nintendo platforms. Once again, Professor Layton, we've always seen Inazuma 11 do great on Nintendo hardware, Yokai Watch Nintendo hardware. So to see them come back in this type of way and announce multiple games, use the Nintendo Direct as a way to say we are back, that is just awesome. And I think that that is going to prove dividends going forward, especially with this game that we're going to talk about right here, and that is DECAPOLICE. That it's coming out for PS4, PS5, and the Nintendo Switch. It's due out worldwide in 2023, and I think that this is going to be a surprise hit out there when it comes to the quality of the game, because Level 5 seems to be tapping into the roots that made them one of the best RPG developers in the game for the past 20 years. So here is a little bit more information about the DECAPOLICE title. So a mysterious detective story with investigations in a virtual world. DECAPOLICE is a crime suspense RPG from Level 5, developers of the Layton series. The main character, a rookie detective named Harvard, hunts down criminals in a huge open world crime-ridden city, traveling back and forth between physical and virtual reality. Look forward to a mysterious detective story with investigations in virtual space. Here's more about the story in the game. Decasm, a virtual world created from a perfect copy of reality. More than just a simulation, it's a complete copy of a real city, a forbidden place where memories of every past crime lie dormant. Clues found in Decasm can help unravel the riddles of the real world. So you guys are checking out this super slick trailer, and I feel that the thing that I love the most about this game so far is how they seamlessly blend how you're going to be doing the interactive detective stuff in the game with the RPG mechanics and investigating what is going on. Plus, the art style is absolutely slick and just puts everything together. It really reminds me of Dark Cloud, and it reminds me of Yokai Watch and all the different games where they've had these cool art styles and people really like it, but they've brought it to modern systems. We're finally seeing what Level 5 can do here when it comes to a new IP, in addition to focusing everything they've got on something that's just innovative and new. And Level 5 has been known for that for the past 20 years. When it comes to Dark Cloud, or when it comes to Layton, when it comes to Yokai Watch, they've innovated on all levels with their games. And DECAPOLICE, to me, really is that next iteration of Level 5 coming back and saying, wait a minute, no, we can run this too. We're really good RPG developers. So I really like what I'm seeing here. I think the game has a lot of great style and substance to it. I love some of the RPG mechanics that they showed off in that trailer. You're going to have a variety of characters that are going to have different abilities that you can do as well. And I think that it's going to be one of those games where you play and it just puts a smile to your face because of all the different characters you're going to meet and how the dialogue and audio works with them. And it just feels like it's written in that classic style that makes Level 5 one of the best. I mean, Ni no Kuni, I mean, they've done so many different things out there. So very happy for them announcing this game. I am definitely going to cop DECAPOLICE, probably on PS5 and also on the Nintendo Switch. Oh man, and I bet you anything that there's no cross-save either, guys. I mean, that's the bane of my existence in terms of these RPGs that come out on PS5 and Nintendo Switch. I would love for there to be some cross-save to where I can start it on the PS5 and play it in a home console, and then of course if I go somewhere, play it on the portable and have that seamless save between the two. That would be nice. And I'm pretty much just gonna say, hey look guys, it's not coming out until later in 2023. You guys got time for some cross save? Let's get it done. Probably not, but we'll see what happens here, guys. DECAPOLICE looking like a fantastic RPG to get into in 2023, but also another fantastic RPG to get into in 2023, and that is the classic Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster officially announced. And I actually made a video on this a couple of weeks ago or so. There was renewed trademarks. Bandai Namco had listings that they're working on a classic GameCube or Nintendo title for the Nintendo Switch, and now we finally have this here. But it's even better than I thought it was going to be, because Baten Kaitos, it's not just the first game, it's actually the first and the second game, which the second game is a prequel to the first game, and it's improved in a lot of different ways. There are a bunch of really good improvements to this game. It's not just a straight up port of it, so we're gonna get into some of those improvements. And even one really weird thing with this game that I haven't really seen any other developer talk about when it comes down to it, but I do want to discuss it because I find it very interesting as well. So let's go ahead and get into it here. So Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster includes remastered versions of Baten Kaitos Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean and Baten Kaitos Origins, titled Baten Kaitos 2. Players will have the opportunity to discover or rediscover the emotional journeys of the Baten Kaitos series, which features distinct card-based RPG systems that allow for split-second decisions that edges participants closer to victory. Players will take the role of guardian spirit and guide each game's protagonist and their companions through their journey. And of course, it's awesome to see the different stuff here, guys. Baten Kaitos Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean, that's the first game, tells the story of Kalas, who seeks revenge for the death of his brother and grandfather. And then there's Baten Kaitos Origins, which takes place 20 years before the events of the first game and involves Sagi, a spiritor that has a connection with the guardian spirits. So it's awesome stuff, guys. These games are really good, and these are Monolith soft developed titles. That's kind of lost in a little bit of the Nintendo Direct stuff because you saw Bandai Namco and you saw Nintendo and everything, but this is actually a Monolith soft developed title before they developed Xenoblade Chronicles. So yeah, it's absolutely incredible. But let's talk about this real quick, because there was a FAQ that Bandai Namco posted about this in terms of the remaster. And let's talk about some of the enhancements that are made to the game. So the visual quality of the game has been improved, including the user interface and graphics for the main characters and objects in the field. Now, in addition to stabilizing the frame rate, Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster introduces new features such as encounters off, auto battle, skip cutscenes, and autosave to make it even more accessible to new players. And all of those things are really, really welcomed, especially some of the encounters in terms of how frequent they come about. So auto battle's good, skip cutscenes, all that stuff is really, really good stuff added in there, and does make it more playable when it comes down to it. There isn't any additional content deleted or anything. There is no additional content added either. Everything that we got in those games are all there, so don't worry about any type of stuff being removed at all. So let's talk a little bit about the specs, and I found this to be interesting. So this is based off the GameCube version, and the title supports improved aspect ratios as well as enhanced graphic expression. But when you go to the screen resolution, so it's TV mode at 1080p essentially, but then it also says works at up to 2K resolution. So I've never seen a developer on the Switch at least talk about resolution that's past 1080p, so it works up to 2K. So I'm gonna have to get MVG on the case here to understand completely everything there. But yeah, it was the odd little note that was in their FAQ, because usually if it's 1080p, it's 1080p. If it's 720p, it's 720p. If it's somewhere in between 900p or something, it's just that. Never saw anything when it comes to a Switch title saying works at up to 2K resolution. So interesting there. It is going to be frame rate 30 frames per second, so they're stabilizing that. It's probably going to be solid because the original GameCube game had a multitude of dips in various places. So that's okay. I mean, it would have been great if they would have doubled it to 60, But you know what? At the end of the day, it is a turn-based card RPG. The game file size is 8 gigabytes. So it is that when it comes to it. And we don't know about a physical edition for the game at this point. I'm really hoping that they do it, but nothing's been said right now because they talk about micro SD, SDAC, SD, XC memory card required. So it seems like it might be digital right now only, but we're gonna have to wait and see fully because they haven't actually talked about whether there's going to be a physical edition or not. But I hope that there is, because it needs a physical edition, because these are pricey GameCube games. These can go up to, I think, $50 to $60 for the GameCube one, at least the first title. There's probably some places that it's cheaper, but it's not like these are like super cheap GameCube games. And of course, GameCube is getting a ton of love recently, and that's because the GameCube games that are coming back and getting these HD remasters are absolutely incredible, which once again proves GameCube is better than N64. No, I'm joking, kinda. But anyway, when it comes down to this, guys, there is a lot of good stuff that was announced at the Nintendo Direct, and I had a lot of fun covering it. And of course, if you want to know anything more about the previous videos, I did a massive video on Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and the DLC that's coming, in addition to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and everything with the $70 price tag and all that. So if you haven't seen that video, please make sure you check it out. Link in the description below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you for the next video. Peace out.